Vanishing Battalion of Stalingrad. In the freezing hellscape of Stalingrad, where the lines between life and death blurred into a fog of despair, an entire battalion disappeared without a trace. This is the eerie tale of the Vanishing Battalion of Stalingrad, a story of terror and mystery that still haunts the ruins of that fateful city. The Battle of Stalingrad, fought from August 1942 to February 1943, was one of the bloodiest and most brutal confrontations of World War II. The city, a crucial industrial hub on the Eastern Front, was transformed into a wasteland of rubble and carnage. Temperatures plummeted to unbearable lows, and the Soviet and German forces engaged in relentless street-to-street combat. Amid this chaos, stories of ghostly occurrences began to emerge. In late November 1942, as the Soviets launched Operation Uranus, a counter-offensive to encircle and trap the German Sixth Army, a particularly chilling incident occurred. The Soviet 64th Army, tasked with tightening the noose around the German forces, reported strange occurrences among its troops. Soldiers spoke of eerie figures in the ruins, of shadows moving independently of their sources, and of ghostly whispers carried by the icy wind. The disappearance. One of the most unsettling reports came from the Soviet 62nd Army, which was engaged in fierce fighting on the western edge of Stalingrad. On December 10, 1942, an entire battalion from the 62nd Army was sent on a reconnaissance mission to scout German positions and secure a crucial supply route. The battalion, consisting of around 300 men, was well equipped and prepared for the harsh conditions. As the battalion advanced through the shattered streets and abandoned buildings, they encountered an eerie silence that fell over the battlefield. The usual sounds of war, gunfire, explosions, and the cries of the wounded seemed to vanish. The battalion's commander, Colonel Alexei Ivanov, noted the strange quiet but pressed on, believing it to be a temporary lull in the fighting. By nightfall, the battalion had disappeared. No shots were fired, no distress signals were sent. The soldiers simply vanished into the frozen wasteland of Stalingrad. Searches were launched, but the men of the battalion were nowhere to be found. There were no signs of a struggle, no blood stains, no equipment left behind. It was as if they had simply evaporated into the mist. The legend begins. Rumors began to spread among the troops. Some claimed that the battalion had been captured and executed by the Germans. Others whispered about supernatural forces at work. The desolate ruins of Stalingrad, with its twisted metal and crumbling walls, seemed to take on an ominous presence. Soviet soldiers spoke of seeing spectral figures moving through the wreckage, their forms flickering in and out of sight. One particularly chilling account came from a soldier named Viktor Petrov, who claimed to have seen the missing battalion in a dream. According to Petrov, he wandered through a ghostly version of Stalingrad, where the battalion marched in eerie silence, their faces pale and eyes hollow. They walked through walls and rubble, their footsteps echoing in the empty streets. In the dream, Petrov tried to call out to them, but his voice was swallowed by the oppressive silence. The Soviet response. The Soviet command, concerned about the morale of the troops and the growing rumors, decided to investigate the mysterious disappearance. They dispatched additional units to search the area where the battalion had vanished. Despite thorough searches, no trace of the soldiers was ever found. The Soviet leadership dismissed the reports of supernatural occurrences, attributing them to the extreme stress and exhaustion experienced by the troops. However, the legend of the Vanishing Battalion persisted. Soldiers who had been stationed in Stalingrad and those who heard the stories spoke of a chilling sense of dread. The city, now liberated and left in ruins, seemed to harbor a dark secret, a ghostly reminder of the battle's horrors. The final mystery. Years later, as historians and researchers examined the Battle of Stalingrad, the story of the Vanishing Battalion became a topic of fascination and speculation. Some suggested that the battalion had been captured and executed, their bodies hidden to conceal the atrocity. Others believed that the ghostly stories reflected the psychological trauma experienced by soldiers in such a brutal conflict. To this day, the story of the Vanishing Battalion remains one of the most haunting legends of World War II. The ghostly figures reported by soldiers, the eerie silence that enveloped the battlefield, and the unexplained disappearance of an entire battalion continue to captivate and terrify those who hear it. So, the next time you read about the Battle of Stalingrad, remember the Vanishing Battalion, a ghostly chapter in a war that was already filled with unimaginable horror.